This week's episode is brought to you by Campaign Refinery, an amazing new email marketing automation tool. Look, in the world of digital marketing, there's a lot to keep track of. We all know this. As much as we're in love with social media and the power of social conversation here at Social Inc. and on the All About Digital Marketing podcast, we are well aware at just how powerful email marketing can be. Email marketing is not dead. In fact, it's never been more important to help you leverage your presence everywhere else into the one channel that you'll own, regardless of what changes Facebook, Twitter, or any other platform makes in the future. I've known the founder, Travis Ketchum, for years, and he's been a past guest on the podcast, episode 15 if you want to listen to it. I've personally used his other products before, and they've been fantastic. The amount of thought that he's put into each and every one of what he's created has been incredible. I'd highly encourage you to try their free 14-day trial at campaignrefinery.com to see what world-class email marketing automation can do for you and your business. Massive thank you to Travis and Campaign Refinery for their support of the All About Digital Marketing show. Welcome to the All About Digital Marketing podcast. The show all about
digital marketing.
Digital marketing.
Digital marketing.
Digital marketing.
Brought to you by Social Inc., a digital marketing agency specializing in social media and content marketing for brave brands and forward-thinking SMEs. I'm your host, Chris Bruno, and as always, we're here to bring you the most actionable tips, tricks, tools, and insights to help you achieve more when it comes to your digital marketing. Subscribe to the show and be sure to share with a friend if you found something useful or interesting. You can find all the show notes and more information on www.allaboutdigitalmarketing.co.uk. Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of the All About Digital Marketing podcast. I'm Chris Bruno, I'm the CEO and founder of Social Inc. We're a digital marketing agency and we've been around since about 2008. We've been running the All About Digital Marketing podcast since July 2019, and it's been one hell of a ride. We've now hit over 10,000 downloads. We've got more than 75 episodes that have gone live, and absolutely still loving this process because I get to have these amazing conversations with phenomenal people who are within the agency industry, within the creative industry, or working in tech that helps support marketing and agencies like ourselves. The question that we're asking ourselves today, though, is, should I start a podcast? Now, I don't know about you, but as soon as I say that phrase, I start thinking of, do you want to build a snowman? And for some reason, I'm singing those words in my head. But it's a topic that's talked about a lot. And often I see that there's a polarized view, which is usually split something along the lines of, you have to start a podcast today, or you really shouldn't start a podcast because there's simply too many podcasts out there. I don't think either one or the other is the right answer. I think the real question is, what do you want to do and who could it benefit? If you're looking and thinking about starting a podcast at the moment, there's a couple of things to start thinking about at the very beginning. Just like with any digital marketing strategy, just like with any plans or ideas that you want to try and implement, it all starts by understanding what it is that you're going to do, who it's for, and why it's of value for them. If you can start by identifying this, I think that that's a really good opening position to have. If you can understand that there is a market or a need or a want to consume content within a particular field, no matter how niche it might be, then you're onto something that potentially has an audience that you can build on. This podcast, the All About Digital Marketing podcast, we literally named it over the idea that we just wanted to create a podcast to talk about digital marketing, all the different ways in which small business owners, even marketeers, could find ways, tips, hints, tools, find out about new people in the industry, anything that would bring them value towards their digital marketing. It had a very specific audience in mind. We knew what the topic was going to be. And everything that we've tried to do to build on from there has always been based on the same things. The real question for yourself is exactly the same. You could create a podcast about model trains if you want to. The idea is it's a specific niche and it has a very specific audience. You're trying to create great content that brings them value and that gives them insight into this particular niche. If you have that in mind, then I think you're on the right track to creating a podcast. If you just want to create a podcast to be able to do it, to try it, to play around with audio editing and to learn the process of it, you can. But the question is, will anybody want to listen to it? The Tim Ferrisses, the Seth Rogans, the people who are just simply interviewing cool and awesome people, that's a hard niche to break into, especially when you're just starting out. Your podcast almost seems too wide and too varied. You don't have an audience to start with. You're building a community from scratch. So trying to be an all-encompassing interviewer is going to be a challenge. But when you niche down and identify something specific to talk about, you now can build a community. And it might not be the biggest community, and you might not get your podcast to 100 million downloads, but that doesn't mean it's not successful. When it comes to all things digital marketing, for us and for our clients, we'll often look at the idea that I would prefer to have 100 true, loyal, consuming fans, people who actually buy from you, people who actually want to engage with you, people who actually listen to your content, rather than have 10,000 followers, but people that don't actually care, people that don't make the effort to consume your content, people who don't make the effort to engage with you, people who don't even necessarily try to find out more about you or to connect with you online or to buy your services or to help support your sponsors. Everything we want to do at the very early stages is about building that starting block, that initial foundation of a community of people who have the same shared interests, likes, and that are really part of that niche that you want to try and create. Now, in terms of what sort of content you can create and how you can create it, that becomes pretty easy. If you've chosen your niche, you can now identify the sorts of people who work in that niche, the people who are providing services to that niche, big fans of that niche. Heck, even try and find YouTubers who talk about that niche. Contacting and connecting with people within that niche is going to help you to build out that network. As your podcast starts to grow, and as you start to get known or you start to have a bit more following, then people will start reaching out to you as well about trying to get onto the podcast. Yes, some of your guests might be self-serving, but again, you get to control the conversation because it's your podcast. Something that I would say is hugely important about the podcasting effect, as it were, is the fact that I've grown my network. We've now had more than 45 guests on this show. I love those conversations I get to have with these people, but more importantly, I'm now connected with these people. I'm now connected with more agencies, more specialists, freelancers, software service providers, all sorts of things. It's increased my network, probably honestly, by 30-40% what it used to be. And I like that. That positive impact helps to translate into my business to having more access to particular tools, more knowledge base about how other people are doing things, and even to have a support network of other agency owners just like me who are working, who are trying, who are always developing new ideas, and we get to bounce ideas off each other. All of these things are a huge benefit, and something that I always try and tell people. If you don't enjoy the process, if you don't enjoy having conversations, if you don't enjoy talking about a particular subject, chances are a podcast might not be the right way to go about it. But part of that is also developing the skills and the knowledge that goes behind the scenes. So yes, I will be honest, when we first started, I believe I was using my AirPods or even a pair of cabled Apple AirPods. And we were trying to do all the audio editing and everything ourselves afterwards. Today, that's not the case. Today, I'm rocking an ATR 2100 mic, which is the same one recommended by Tim Ferriss for when you travel and when he moves around. And I've got a little bit of soundproofing, and I've got somebody that I rely on, Adam Goodwin, who's an absolutely awesome audio editor. All of this stuff, though, takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. If you start by having huge outlays, big costs, and trying your hardest to make this the highest level, professional quality grade podcast at the very beginning, the chances are the investment's going to be pretty big. You can start this at home right now. There's a ton of hacks and ways to make the quality of the sound better, to make sure that the way you're talking and what you're talking about is as well organized as possible. But everything stems down to enjoying the process and wanting to be able to do it. I think it was Eugene Kahn on one of our early episodes, I think it might have even been as early as episode 10, who said, if you enjoy the process, you can continue to do it. Regardless of if you're going to get paid or if it's going to make you money directly or indirectly, if you enjoy it, then you can continue to do it. And that's something that I think is really important. The best way to find out if you enjoy it or not is to start, is to try, it's to see what it actually feels like when you're doing it. Because once you've started that flow and once you've started to get an idea for it, then you'll know whether or not it's something that you can really do. If you've decided you're going to start a podcast, well done. Congratulations. I think it's awesome and I've really enjoyed this experience and I'll continue to do it for as long as I can. If that is the case for you and if you are about to get started, give us a shout if you'd like any tips or hints or help or understanding how it is that we do things or any technical questions. We'd love to help you out. But more importantly, get started and try and get yourself 6 to 10 episodes in the bag without ever releasing one to the public. You need to understand what that process really looks like, and you need to make sure that it's going to be sustainable. There's nothing worse than starting a podcast and then simply forgetting about it. Because what happens out there with so many websites, blogs, social media channels, YouTube channels, and podcasts is that people start with great intentions. They launch episode 1, episode 2 comes out, episode 3, and then suddenly nothing for weeks or months. So really try and give yourself a little bit of a buffer. Try to organize so that you have 5, 6, 10 episodes in the bag so that you can really appreciate what that process looks like. Chances are as well, you'll go through a couple of ups and downs during those 10 first calls, conversations, interviews, or just even you talking. And it's going to help you to learn and understand what works better and what doesn't. Thank you very much for listening to us, guys. We love doing this podcast. And again, if you're thinking about starting a podcast, you should definitely let us know because we want to help support in any way we can. If you have any questions for us, hit us up on social media. You can find us on all the channels at allaboutdigmar, Digmar, and we'd be happy to answer any questions or give any advice that we can to help you in your journey. In the meantime, stay safe, everybody, and let us know what you think.
The All About Digital Marketing podcast is brought to you by Social Inc., a distributed digital marketing agency specialized in delivering results through online campaigns. Whether it's content marketing, social media marketing, online advertising, or web design, we've got you covered, from strategy through to delivery. If you're struggling with your digital marketing, get in touch today by simply visiting www.socialinc.co.